How about another round of applause for the incredible performances we're having tonight? Stories shape markets, and markets shape opportunity. And tonight, we honor artists whose work moves cultures and opens doors. I'm delighted to be joined by my fellow board member, Michelle Sobrino Stearns. And let me turn it over to Michelle right now.
All right. Buenas noches, good evening, and you guys are incredible. What an incredible band. It's a privilege to be here among such distinguished leaders, creators, and innovators. This gathering reflects the strength and creativity of our community and the growing influence Latinos bring to every part of American life. Variety is beyond proud to once again partner with the Aspen Institute Latinos in Society program. In 2022, we joined forces because Dominica requested and we did it, to amplify Latino voices in media and culture, recognizing that what happens on our screens shapes how communities are seen and how opportunity is created. Bringing Aspen's convening power together with Variety's platform in culture and media makes this partnership both natural and meaningful. Together, we shine a light on a truth that has always been there. Latinos have long been at the heart of American culture, from music and film to television, art, and literature. Our creativity doesn't just entertain, it changes perceptions, builds understanding, and drives real opportunity. And the numbers prove the impact. Though Latinos are about 20% of the US population, we represent nearly a quarter of all box office ticket sales and streaming subscriptions. Research from McKinsey shows that greater Latino representation in Hollywood could generate an additional 12 to 18 billion in revenue each year. That's cultural influence and economic power together. At Variety, we've chronicled the entertainment industry for nearly 120 years. One of the most important shifts we've seen is the rise of Latino voices on the global stage. Voices bringing authenticity, innovation, and depth to the stories that define our time. That's why tonight's recognition is so meaningful. We are honoring cultural changemakers, artists, and storytellers whose work sparks dialogue, expands possibility, and inspires all of us. And what makes this even especially exciting is that we don't just celebrate them, we get to hear directly from them. So, Francisco, let's begin.
Thank you, Michelle. Our first honoree is Pepe Aguilar. Michelle, tell us a little bit about Pepe Aguilar.
I'm excited because I was at his Star on the Walk of Fame, so I get to talk about him. Okay, so from Zacatecas, Mexico, to the world's biggest stages, he carries forward one of Latin America's most iconic legacies, blending the soul of mariachi and ranchera with the sound of a new generation. A bridge between tradition and innovation, his voice has become a soundtrack to Mexican pride and identity.
Pepe Aguilar is a change maker. He's a singer, a songwriter, a producer, entrepreneur, and proud advocate for Mexican music and culture. The son of legends Antonio Aguilar and Flor Silvestre, he's honored their legacy while creating his own path, selling out arenas across the globe and introducing new audiences to the power and poetry of ranchera.
A multi-Grammy and Latin Grammy award-winning artist, he sold over 15 million albums worldwide and has become one of the most recognized ambassadors of Latin music. Though through his production company, he has nurtured new talent and expanded opportunities for the next generation, including his two children, who now carry the Aguilar tradition to new heights. Beyond the music, his voice champions identity, family, and belonging, values that resonate deeply across our community. While Pepe couldn't be here with us in person tonight, we're delighted to have him join us virtually from Mexico.
For an artistry that honors our roots and redefine what's possible for the future, we are proud to present the Variety Changemaker Award presented by the Aspen Institute Latinos in Society program to Pepe Aguilar.
La música mexicana sigue estando. Un artista es tan bueno como el equipo que lo rodea.
Me cambiaste por unas monedas y sol, porque tú no supiste soportar.
Now it's my pleasure to introduce Variety's Senior Awards Editor, Clayton Davis, who will be joined by Pepe. Clayton, take it away.
Greetings from Aguascalientes.
Hello. Pepe, thanks for coming.
Thank
Listen,
you for having me. Thank you for having me. It's an honor, really. You guys are so kind. I'm so excited for you to recognize my work, and it's a pleasure to be talking to you guys tonight.
well, thank you for speaking with us tonight. Pepe, they were asking that me and you do a duet today, but I said that we shouldn't sing tonight, that we'll have that at a later time. But can you talk about what making music means to you all these decades later? Can you hear me okay?
A little bit. We are with some problem with the audio. Can
Sure.
you please repeat the question?
Sure. Can you talk about still making music this many years later and what that means to you?
Well, music is what I love the most in my life. Music has been my partner in all my adventures, and it's no different right now. I enjoy making music, especially now that I understand that for me, making music is something bigger than myself, because it's the music that I learned when I was a kid, that I adore, that I admire, which is Mexican folkloric music, mariachi music, banda music. And at this stage in my life, I enjoy it more than ever.
Awesome. Thank you. Can you speak about coming from such a musical family? I'm a journalist. I don't have journalists in my family. So was it harder when you come from a family that's so enriched in music, or do you find your own path?
I hear that all the time, and I see that with the family members of other musicians that are active in the business, and you just have to be an honest artist, regardless of what your last name is, or your past family members did. I was very lucky because I grew up at a family with very high artistic values, and that was a guidance for me since the beginning. For that, I am tremendously blessed, But the 35 albums that I have recorded, we need to change that bio. But the 35 albums that I have recorded, you know, I've done those albums myself. Not my mother, not my father, not my family, but it's an individual work that, of course, it got inspired by two extraordinary people. But this 35 years of work are my own.
Awesome. "35 albums, that's a lot of albums. So can you talk about what's the difference between number 1 and number 35 in terms of you and the way you approach it? Does it get harder? Does it get easier? Or are you just like, I got this, I'm Pepe?
I get I guess at the beginning, you are very green. You don't know what you're getting into. It's more dreaming than anything else. It's your vision of something that you don't know yet. So it's interesting to confront those dreams and make them a reality. Right now, making an album is not easier than at the beginning. It's just different. You know, I am a craftsman. I do that. I still do art the way it was done 100 years ago with mariachi. So it hasn't changed since album 31, 1 to 34, because like I said, I'm doing something that has been done for decades and generations, and I'm just putting in my twist and my spirit and my soul and my mind and heart, and that has evolved. So making the album is not hard, and for me, but to remain truthful is because the industry wants to take you to places that probably don't fit you very much, and I have to stay strong and stand my ground and just keep on doing what I love, regardless of what's happening, you know. And that for me it's like one of the hardest part of making albums right now, not the actual album making itself. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I'm gonna ask you a really hard question. What is your
Let's go.
What is the song that means the most to you that you have recorded? Can you pick one, or I'll even give you two. One or two songs that really mean the most. And we have people screaming their favorites out here too, so it's got to be the right answer.
You know, I don't even remember songs that I've recorded in my album. I don't even remember the name of the 35 albums that I've recorded. Okay? So it's like, I don't know, man. The question that you just asked me, you know, it could be por mujeres como tú, by the way. It could be por mujeres.
I think you chose correctly. The audience agrees. So I have two last questions for you. One, you've won Grammys. You've kind of conquered music. You've conquered the world. What does the next chapter look like for you? I mean, what is really driving you and inspiring you at this time in your life?
Artificial intelligence. Don't laugh.
What about it? What about it specifically?
I'm developing apps already. So, music apps, philosophical apps. You know, I'm just building. I found in this technology, I found myself, and definitely, I'm exploring it beyond what many other colleagues are even dreaming. You know, so there's a lot of controversy here, but I'm very comfortable with it.
All right, fair enough. And the final question I have typically is the hardest one as well, but what is your message to little Pepes that are here among us? Maybe a guy that's sitting here talking to you right now that says, I want to grow up and be like you. I want to get into music. I want to make a difference in art and entertainment. What do you tell them right now?
Remain truthful to yourself. Remain honest. Investigate about who your parents were, your grandparents, where they came from, their culture. Investigate about what made you. Because once you know where you're coming from, it's easier to know where you're going to. So I will tell them that, and I will also tell them one more thing, and that goes to everybody present in the event right now and all the kids and youngsters that you told me. Please get into AI. If you don't, somebody that is into AI, it's not gonna take your job, but it's gonna make more money than you. So get into AI now.
That's well said. Thank you. Pepe, I want to congratulate you on this great honor. You are a change maker, and I would like a pair of your sunglasses because I think you make it look cooler than anybody I know.
I wear my sunglasses that night.
Thank you for being with us today. Everyone, Pepe Aguilar. Thank you.
Congratulations, Pepe. Your music has carried Mexican heritage into the world's biggest stages, proving that tradition and innovation can thrive together. From mariachi to fusion, you've built bridges across generations and borders. Let me start there. Well, I was supposed to sign off Pepe Aguilar. We need to keep moving a little further up here. A lot further up. All right, thank you. There we go. Well, while we couldn't have Pepe here in person, I think that was a pretty fascinating conversation. So I'm glad that we were able to get him on video. And once again, thank you to Clayton Davis for his extraordinary role in creating a great interview. Now we're pleased to introduce tonight's second honoree, Esai Morales. Not yet, Esai. We have a lot of other nice things to say about you. I know. No, you're going to hear all the good things we're going to say. So let me continue. You can tell from the reaction in this room, we have a cultural icon that's being honored today. From La Bamba to My Family, Mi Familia, and Mission Impossible, which I absolutely loved. His work made Latino storytelling impossible to ignore. First seeing hearts as Bob Morales and La Bamba, then adding depth and range across film and prestige TV. What a gift.
Now I get to talk about you. On television, he's defined leadership and complexity as Lieutenant Tony Rodriguez on NYPD Blue, Del on Ozark, so scary, Major Edward Beck on Jericho, and a lead in Showtime's Resurrection Boulevard. His guest starring list is long: Miami Vice, Criminal Minds, CSI Miami, and The Equalizer, to name a few. And on the biggest screens, he's the formidable Gabriel in Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, returning in the recent sequel, The Final Reckoning.
He's a builder, co-founder of the National Hispanic Foundation for the Arts, and recently co-hosted PBS's National Memorial Day concert honoring the stories of service members and families. A career of excellence recognized with an Alma Award and decades of roles that move the culture forward. Please direct your attention to the screens for a short tribute celebrating Esai Morales' remarkable career and the lasting contributions he's made to music and culture.
Wanted the truth. So here it is.
I can tell, man. Sorry, dude. I didn't know that piece of junk was so important to you.
Hey, you king shit in this place. Congratulations. If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know.
I'm sorry about your little brother Moreno, okay?
You really break my heart. You know that?
Said she needed the money to buy medicine. So her boy could breathe. Cried like a baby. Swore she would never do it again. Begged my father not to fire her. Begged. I can see right through you. You wear the pretty costumes, say all the right things. But I can see what's underneath the mask. I can see your lies. Buy you a drink?
I'm waiting for someone.
So am I. We can wait together. And Gabriel, you can't hurt him. Not that way. Take you back to Shanghai. What was their name? Only one of us has a parachute! Good luck!
Welcome Clayton back to the stage for an intimate conversation with Esai Morales.
We need one extra mic, but I'll hand it back to you. All right. This one's in person, man, so get ready. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
From the theater, we're used to projecting, but wow, this is very awkward. I hope you understand. Not just the false start, but watching myself through the years and the black cloud that was my hair in La Bamba. Sorry, it's just like, wow, yeah. I have to tell you honestly, I know you didn't even ask me a question. Here I am going. True story. I cried after I saw the first screening of La Bamba at a VHS at a friend's house. I was like, so I thought my career was over because, no, I mean, that was before anti-humectants. So they would do the hair in the morning, right? Just nice and tight, DA type 50s. And I don't know how many of you guys ever old enough to know what Jiffy Pop is. In time, it would just grow and grow and grow. In some of those scenes, I was mortified. But you know what? Thank God that the cast, the story, Luis Valdez's script, the Valenzuela family all came together to make a classic that I'm very grateful to be a part of. So thank you.
Well, I've called this meeting today to talk with you, and you started talking about your hair. I'm not going to point anyone out, but some of us struggle keeping our hair. I don't want to point anybody out, but you know, there you go. 4 decades in this business. It's like 30 decades in Hollywood years, like
dog years, right?
Yeah, it's not a given. How crazy does that feel? Like, does that, like, did it sneak up on you?
I got to tell you something. You know, when I heard I was getting this, I'm like, oh my God, I'm still alive. I guess you get award at a certain age. You get awards just for sticking around. You know? I'm not dead or terribly disgraced or in prison. I'm not on the Diddy list. Sorry. I wasn't cool enough. I'm not judging anybody. It's just, you know, Mr. Aguilar said it, you know, staying true to oneself is a tricky thing in this town, because sometimes that could seem like bye-bye, you know. Sometimes being true is not as popular as going along to get along. And I'm a big advocate of freedom of thought, freedom of speech, freedom of from groupthink, which no matter how intelligent any of us are here, we suffer to some degree or another of groupthink. So I always keep my glass never full. Always room for something to come inside and, you know, and learn, because when your glass is full, there's no room for anything else to come in. So, yeah.
I know it's like cool to talk about La Bamba, but I have 4 sisters, and
my condolences.
Yes, thank you. And I remember a movie called Bad Boys, and I remember Paco Moreno and them having pictures of you around my house, and it was really awkward to see you here now. But getting your big break in something like that, what is that? When you look back now, are you like, I can't believe I lasted this long, or did you?
I mean, honestly, I'll tell you guys a quick story, because I know folks like stories, right? I auditioned for that film, and I had never done any mainstream movie. I did a small thing here and there, but nothing that was like a real movie. Universal Studios, EMI, you know, this young up-and-coming actor who I didn't know of at the time, Sean Penn, who'd become, you know, iconic actor. And I remember going to this audition and kind of walking into a room full of about a dozen or more of the biggest, the baddest, the most muscular, the most kung fu looking, you know, tough guys, mean guys, gorgeous guys with green eyes that would kill you, you know, like every type of guy that could make you feel insecure was in that room. And they were, you know, getting ready to do their thing, and I'm watching around, I'm going, man, I wasted my 65 cents. That's how old I am, to get on the subway, you know. I said, and then it was taking forever. And it's forever. I don't know if you have many actors in here. It's the indignity of, like, you know, you're not even sure if you'll even get the part. You've gone on a bunch of these, and they're eating up your time. And at one point I just said, you know what, this is BS. I'm out of here. I just, you know what, this ain't for me. And I walked out. And I thought, that's it. I don't need this, and respect my time. And I pushed the down button on the elevator, and there's two red lines. They don't connect, but there's just two down. And I remember when that ding went and it was red and it was down. And for some reason, something inside of me said, really? Really? You're just going to punk out like that? Your ego? Oh, you're too good? Like something inside of me said, shut the F up. Sorry, Like, no, get back in there. You don't quit. That's some punk ass, like you don't do that. Your mama didn't raise you like that. You fight. You fight every guy in that room if you have to. And I was like, yeah. And I saw the down is down. Like that meant I'm going down like that. And I was like, no, forget it. And I hypnotized myself. I walked back into that room and I literally paced like it did. They described the character was Cobra-like and Panther-like, So in my head, I'm like side to side. I take that guy apart. I just psyched myself up. And by the time I walked in, I had a little attitude on me. I'm like, let's do this. Let's go. And, pleasantries high. Yeah, okay, okay. And I did the scene and I walked out and I forgot about it because I'm not going to sit by the phone and wait till life, says you're it. I have other things to do. You do your best and then you let it go. Let go and let God, as they say. Right? I then got the call that I was first on the list, and I couldn't believe it. And from that moment on, even after that, I remember signing some autographs and people asking me where my limousine was. And I was going, should I ask them for like 35 more cents so I could make enough to make it home? Because I'd spent all the money I had made in the movie, so it's not that glamorous. So my career has gone up and down. And for you guys, it all looks like it's all, glamorous and, but there are many valleys. There are many insecurities. There are many dark places you go to. And my family who's here will let you know, yeah. I still struggle to, I wonder, was Mission Impossible my last big movies? Or, like, you wonder. You never know. So I always punch up. I always say, you don't take anything for granted. And I think that's kind of like what's helped me stick around. I never let it get to me like, oh, it's easy now. Oh, yeah, No, you enjoy the process. Enjoy work, the hard work. If you can enjoy what you do, then it's not work anymore. It's a process that no matter if it pays off or not, it pays off internally in ways that when you're having a good time, then other people are like, dude, I want some of that. And that's what you have to walk in with, the knowledge that this is what I do. This is what I breathe. This is what I bleed. So that's the passion. Without that passion, I wouldn't be here to, have a false start.
What would Esai be doing today if he didn't become an actor? What was that? I always say the worst question is first day of kindergarten. And they're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then you think of something like, oh, what did the other kids say? I have to think of something cooler.
No,
what did you want to
I've thought about that because growing up, I'm like, okay, if this doesn't work out, I wanted to be a little bit of everything. I want to be a mad scientist. I want to be a fireman because of the thought of saving someone's life, law enforcement, even politics. After I was an actor, I thought maybe I should get in there because, I got some profile, and if the work doesn't come along, maybe people, they know me kind of, maybe I can represent. And that's a tough business. I'd rather, it's a tough business. It's really tough business. What I'd be doing, maybe a stuntman, maybe a photographer. I love to capture, maybe an underwater, scuba dive. I became an actor because I couldn't make up my damn mind of what I wanted to be. As an actor, I could be the president, I could be a killer, I could be a, cop or whatever. So for me, this is doing a little bit of everything.
Latinos in this business, there's a lot of focus on where we're not, that we know we're like less than 5% of speaking roles in film, despite us being 20% of the population. And that's easy to point at, and I point at it often. But we also made incredible progress, and you have been a trailblazer for a lot of people to come after you. Because my belief, and I think you follow this as well, if you're the only person in the room, don't let the door close behind you. You hold it open so more people can come in the room, and we can all talk crap about everyone in the room. It's like it's Latino's favorite pastime is to talk about the people that are in the room with us. We're doing it right now. But what have you focused on in terms of building that coalition for that next generation? How do you get them inspired to come into this, even though the statistics and the deck is stacked against them? What message are you telling them?
Well, the deck was stacked against me. I ran away from home 3 times, once to an aunt's, once to my estranged father's, and then finally to a group home, because I was so obsessed with my dream, which was to take all these feelings. I'm an only child who grew up without my father around. I was playing with whoever would play with me. I was making family, with whoever would let me. And, lots of faces in the mirror, I was a lot of empathy. And I remember once, tears streaming down my face because I saw on the news this woman and her children were caught in a crossfire, gang violence. And I'm like, oh my God, that could be my mom. That could be my sister, like somebody, that's somebody's child, and I realized I had a lot of feelings. And actually, Mr. Aguilar mentioned AI. I am extra sentient, authentic, hopefully, intelligence, ESAI. It's in my name. Come on, guys. Now that I'm Latino, we can call it extra spicy. Extra spicy, augmented intelligence. No, the reality is that I had more feelings more passion than I knew what to do with. And I say, when you have an excess of something, learn to market it, right? Learn to use it creatively. And so I went to Performing Arts High School. I auditioned. I got into that school. When I was a kid, I spoke about this in the Velocity. There was another a chat that we had. When the theater games people came from another school to show the privileged kids, underprivileged, kids, theater games. They did this thing where we would play inanimate objects or frying, like your breakfast, okay, your eggs, your bacon, and I was like, I committed completely. I was bacon. And they noticed this kid's like in it, like he's on one, because I could do, I felt like there's something I can do. And that's, I think, what all of us need to find and or help our children find. What makes you happy? What makes you sizzle like bacon? No matter what they're paying you. It gets better after a while. And so, what was your question? Derailed. Yeah, young people, what was it?
Message for young people.
Yeah, okay. Whew. I'm not completely out there. Okay. Message to young people is, I've said it before, I'll say it again, learn to love and love to learn. No matter what it is in life, we're only here. I believe from my, few years on this planet that this is like a coffee break in eternity. That we were here before, we will be here afterwards. And this is the time where we can feel, where we can sense, where we can taste, where we can touch, where we can experience more than our etheric beings. And learn, you're like a gestational, like we're embryonic and spiritually here. How you treat your person, who you become, the choices you make determines the health of your soul in the afterlife. And do you want to keep coming back and repeating the same old, or do you want to finally go to the next level? I want to ascend. And when you talked about opening other doors too, yeah, I have a double-edged like feeling about that, because while I'm very proud of who I am, where I come from, my roots, okay, I don't want my pride to ever make the person next to me feel less than. And I think that we as Latinos are very, very connected to our sense of being, because we have been underdogs. We have been shoved aside, or just, taken for granted, or just underestimated, if I could make up a word. But then I say, well, then we have enough of us that are very proud. I carry my pride inside. I carry my pride quietly. I am a very proud of my Islander roots, my Caribbean, Puerto Rican roots. Very proud. But I have to say this, and I hope I don't offend my Puerto Rican brethren and sisters, that I'm just as proud of being an honorary Chicano. And I don't want to get emotional, but the Mexican American community has accepted me. And that means a lot to me, because you can't just cut our name in half, Holmes. No, because I feel like I used to see some actors playing another, a fellow Latino, but kind of not put into what I saw, the differences. We're very similar, but we have differences, just like a New Yorker is different than a Southwesterner. Not just the accent, but, the biorhythm, and Chicano pride is a very specific thing, man. It goes back Azteca, it goes way back. And if I can tell you in one gesture in La Bamba, you guys know what it is? It's when he sees Richie for the first time in a long time, y le da. ¿Y qué? That is puro Mexicano, Chicano, American pride, And as a fan of El Trio Los Panchos, okay, I think it was 2 Mexicans and a Puerto Rican made some of the most beautiful bolero and romantic music, and so I believe in being proud, but not at the expense of your neighbors. Being proud, and it's like when Irish eyes are smiling, everyone's Irish. I love that. It's a welcoming, it's inclusive, in the truest sense of the word. So yeah, what I would tell young people, to get back to the point, I could just predict my kid going, "Dad, stop." Just don't let the program limit you. Don't let mainstreamness, don't just go along to get along. Take a step back, look at the big picture. Find out what you have in common with everyone else. Start from there. We have so much in common, and we focus on our differences sometimes a little too much, because we are being pit against each other every single day. And I don't like it, whether it's Mexican, Cubano, Puerto Rican, male and female, transgender, not transgender, binary, trinary. We are just constantly pit against each other. And I don't appreciate it. And I think, the best thing we can do is identify with each other, love each other, and just, don't get it twisted. There's always something you can learn, so don't walk around like you know it all.
It's my tío, everyone. As a Puerto Rican from New York, I think since I've been in LA, I've been in LA 4 years now. I think I've had another Puerto Rican on stage with me, so this is a big moment for both of us. And I like the Yankees, so that's hard for me right now. It's very, very, I know. Tough times, man. Tough times.
Wait, 2 Puerto Ricans in the spotlight and it's not a lineup? I can say it.
Now we're going to make Oquito. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Listen, Esai.
Sir.
The next 60 years, you're proving that we only get better with age. But if I'm around you...
If I wasn't straight, buddy.
Listen, enjoy this next chapter. Go win an Oscar while you're at it. We're all watching. And thank you for coming today. Congratulations on being a true change maker.
Thank you, sir. God bless.
Esai, everybody.